needs, the director's approval to do it, and I would review that. So that in that scenario, they would not have been a fee because it was a permitted use. As a conditional use, it would still have the conditional use fee, which would be the $75.
Yeah, and I don't know if it stays conditional use, if we would just keep it like it is, because right now it's a conditional use and all they get is the electrical permit for the wiring of the system once it's on the roof. So we don't take a building permit in right now for the actual structure going on in the buildings, we just take an electrical permit for the hookup of it essentially.
So yeah, as a permitted use, we would have changed our practice as the trigger to come in, we would need the building permit because it's a structural addition to a roof.
So you just moved that fee.
Correct. It
We're
was
not doubling up on
correct.
the fee, what I was.
correct. Yeah, it's just a different application and how that triggers the review within the department.
Is it clear enough that when we're looking at our solar panels or some kind of thing that would be attached directly to a structure and not attached onto a separate structure, whether it's like on a flat roof and you're up on a, would you have to be on a separate structure, or they're going to put something that's actually tracking the sun that's on a pole mounted out in the yard?
The separate structures are still covered within, if you have patience, we can try to pull it up. There's a definition of separate structures within the zoning chapter that still would require conditional use. Or,
Yeah, because there'd be setback requirements and things like that, because that's one of the things I looked at. There are these freestanding,
correct.
there are these freestanding things that move and track the sun and stuff. But I looked at some of the yards and the setback requirements, and I don't think, other than maybe a couple places on Lake Drive, where it's huge, I don't even think you could fit them in.
But also, if you have a flat roof condition, and they're going to have to put the panels onto an angled structure.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, so architectural projections, special structures, mobile wireless towers, and solar energy systems are currently all conditional uses. With this case, if you choose, to keep it conditional use, with the solar panel itself coming through my department, I could approve that, but the special structure would still be a conditional use that would have to come to the plan commission. So if they needed some sort of special structure, that would still go to your review. And that, I don't believe is attached. I look at that, is that attached to the same conditions within the state statutes, or is that its own?
Yeah, I don't think so, because if your roof, if you only have a single-story house, and you say, well, I want to stick a pole up there 30 feet to get better access, and it's going to spin around, I mean, you're regulated. You could say, well, physically it's a hazard, health and safety, or it's not, the structure below it is not strong enough to support it with the wind sail calculations and all that kind of stuff. You'd still have other concerns. You wouldn't be denying access to the solar panel. You'd be saying you can't build this additional structure because there's physically problems with safety.
Right, yeah, be my
Still
interpretation, okay.
Absolutely.
Mr. Kudo, did you have a question?
I'm trying to think real long term. So basically what we're doing is we're seeding this through an ordinance change by the board to BART in order to get them back one day, should something change or whatever, it would go then, the village board has to change the ordinance back and give that power back to the land commission, and that's not directed, correct?
Correct, yeah, either scenario, the board is the final approval of where that authority goes. So if the board could disagree with this, right, we could take this to the board in October and they could say, no, we don't want to cede that to the director that's going to stay at the plan commission. That would be their decision to make. That's why we're looking for a recommendation here tonight to say, well, the plan commission is acceptable with that change, and then the board might weigh that more heavily or not. But ultimately, the board could change that ordinance back and forth, as, I would hope it would.
With or without a recommendation?
Correct.
It doesn't
With
matter.
or without a recommendation, they could make it themselves.
So they could even say, hey, we're not going to, it's just going to be a totally allowed use of districts too.
Yeah, I just want to, and this is such an area where technology changes. I mean, in 10 years, we could be talking about something totally different. So I think it is worth, to my mind, it's worthwhile keeping it in a conditional use versus permitted use. Yes.
So far, we've only looked at residential applications before us, but let's say the Kroger wants to put a, build a rooftop, flat roof with panels, or the owner of the Mosaic wants to, cut energy costs and put them up there. is that treated the same? And so, again, it would be either us to sign off on that or the planning department, but it would all be covered residential or commercial under this.
So yeah, as it's currently rated, it says all districts.
Okay.
So yeah, currently it's all districts, on the draft it's all districts. If for some reason there was a desire to keep commercial with the plan commission and residential within the planning department, that would be your decision to make. I don't know that I feel there needs to be differentiation between it, because it's the same standards either way. And if it needs a special projection or something, once again, that does come to you. So if it's just a matter of roof installation, to me, I see it as the same thing, but that would be your decision to,
Yeah,
you know, discuss.
it doesn't make any distinction.
So like on it, I think it's SC Johnson or Washington Road, they have like on the ground, you know, rows of these. So if one of the homeowners on that drive has a space, again, this, whatever the ordinances would require them to have it on the roof of their house or garage, not just on the back 40.
I guess so, because the question, can we make them put it somewhere?
So, right, so that they're not, that they have the space, they can't put them on the ground. They
Well,
have-
the structures would have to be approved by the planning commission,
Okay.
but he could approve the solar part.
If they were just putting it on the roof, Bart, if they want to put it on anything else, anywhere else, that's us.
And do you agree with that, Nathan, in terms of, so yes,
Yeah,
special
I'd like to
structures,
see the structure. but-
right, special structures are very loosely defined, but if it's not a building, if it's not, you know, a defined structure, at that point, it likely could be, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm looking over here, so in terms of a blanket statement like that, I'm hesitant to say that I'm fully confident that if it's specifically, you know, a spire, belfry, parapet, cupola, dome, flue, chimney, those are specifically in here, but it's just as such as, so that anything other than that could also be defined that way.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
Right, and so, so the other ones are elevator, penthouse,
Elevator,
scenery, loft,
freezer.
manufacturing equipment, necessary mechanical appurtenances, which I think might actually cover the ground mounted ones. Cooling towers, substations, smokestacks, wind power generators, and solar energy devices are conditional uses, so this is where we would be looking at those.
Well, let me give you a concrete example, because and this is, you know where, this is actually Whitefish Bay, where Lake Drive takes a hard 90-degree corner and it turns on to Silver Spring there. Okay, if somebody put one of these things in their front yard and they just laid it, it was essentially laid on the ground, there was no structure or anything to regulate it. And they said, well, hey, we're covered by the statute. But at any time where it was anything other than cloudy, it created glare such that anybody driving north on Lake Drive would be blinded. I mean, it says right here in the statute, you can tell them, you can regulate it if the concern relates to serving or preserving or protecting public health or safety. You tell them, you can't have it, can't put it there.
So not just that's aesthetically displeasing.
No, that's not
It falls
aesthetically
into those
displeasing.
things.
Is specifically eliminated as a criteria.
So the decision before us is a permitted use or keeping it a conditional use, but ceding the ability to BART. So.
Do you vote?
Hmm?
Do we vote?
Well, yes, we can make a motion if you want.
The only other change when you're fully with the language is that under the definition of solar energy system, that sentence that says equipment which directly converts should be equipment that directly converts. So just putting that English degree to use for you there.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm willing to, anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I like the second approach where we keep it conditional use, that yet put the presentations in the authority of the planning director.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Our whole point was to make things easier, more efficient, and faster for the applicant. So you see this being that.
Correct, and I guarantee if there's a question, I would still consult with our attorney like you would have consulted with the attorney at the planning commission meeting. So I just feel that the conversation can be sped up as opposed to having to wait, 20 days for that conversation to happen. I can do it, and me and the planning director, I would assume would do the same and consult with the lawyer if there was a questionable approval.
So I'm also not sure it was the best use of the plan commissioner's time to be reviewing all these, so, okay, any other discussion?
Those were.
If we could be
those were
talking about
riveting.
Arlington daycare, come on. Any other okay, let's vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Yes.
Okay, I think we can get to our last ordinance amendment regarding conditional use permit regulations.
So this is just an introduction for discussion because it's a two-part conversation in terms of proposing a recommendation for an ordinance change. So obviously based on the application from earlier in the summer here, it was identified that our ordinance did not have any sort of regulations in terms of when an applicant can come back or conditions of revocation or termination, things like that. So just based on my, planning, whatever. In West Dallas, we have a very defined structure. I also referenced other municipalities and, took the best pieces of what I could find from them. So I provided the current version of what is in there, and then the recommended changes on page 85 of 90. So the first part just, it adds some more clarity to what a conditional use is. I feel like that language sometimes is often helpful for the applicant to know why we're requiring it. So the first paragraph just discusses that. And then I had changed recommended changing the title of 54525 to review notice, consideration, and limitations. There has been discussion about noticing conditional uses to neighboring properties, and in the case of the daycare, we did it voluntarily because we thought it was a good practice to do so. I came from a situation where we always did that. We notified people within 200 feet. I think it's pretty common practice for that to happen, quite honestly. We're a smaller municipality, so word gets around, so maybe it's less, necessary that way, but I just feel like it's a good practice to do that. The purpose is to get neighborhood comment, and so I would just suggest the 200 feet notification standard, which I inserted here. That could be toyed with if you want it to be 100 or different. And then I looked at adding conditions for sections E, F, G, H, I, and J. So just briefly, E just talks about that we should recommend it within 60 days of the public hearing. That just keeps things moving along so we don't have applications hanging out there for too long, because that's not good. And I think by state statute it's probably actually required that we render a decision within a certain time frame. F, this came in useful previously too, so no alteration, extension, or modification of conditional use permit shall be permitted unless approved by the plan commission. So just for ease of reference, say the daycare wants to expand to 150 students. The application clearly says you get 124 because you applied for it. If they want to alter, modify, whatever, this makes it clear that that's the case. Without this being in here, sometimes the approval goes to the land and people might not be able to reference that. So it's clear the applicant, what you're getting approved for is what you're getting approved for. If you want to quote unquote, alter, extend, or modify that, it's got to come back here. So I just feel like it's good clarifying language. When I first started here, I was researching a bunch of conditional use approvals and kind of questioning why we didn't have more, concrete approvals on them. So I think this would help us. What's the next one? H. This actually came up with a mobile wireless facility that you had approved previously, where it was approved, I think, in 2015, but they never installed it. And so we said, yeah, that. And I think I worked with Nate at the time. It's a reasonable time frame, but this just defines the reasonable time frame to be 1 year. So if you get approval and you don't start it, or you get construction 1 year, that's when it kicks off and you have to get reapproval for that.
I think that's statute, which is good for.
Right. So yeah, a lot of this is just clarifying language within our local code that is easier for me to provide an applicant than having to remember state statutes and pull it out of somewhere. The next one is the one that we just talked about. So no application or conditional use which has been denied by the plan commission may be resubmitted within 1 year from the date of denial, except on the grounds of new information or change of conditions as determined by the plan commission. So in this case, it would have been a two-part process. First, it would have come back to the plan commission, not as a public hearing per se, but as a application to say, conditions have changed. It would have been the plan commission's determination to say, yep, there's either new evidence or conditions have changed, we will reconsider this. If not, you would have said, we already heard this and nothing has changed. The answer is no. So instead, right now, what we had to do was the public hearing aspect of it, which, turned out fine, just the same, or turned out, you were happy with what they provided. But in the off chance that they came back with something that was exactly the same, I would have had to take it to you as well. because there's nothing you're saying that I can't do it.
Quick question, this goes back to what Nathan said earlier about it not being a resubmission of an application, it was a separate and new application. Does that, so if it's a separate and new application, would I not have applied today?
You mean, would that have been barred?
So let's say, for instance, that
Good question.
this was, as you stated earlier, this is a new application, so we can ask, the scope of questioning was, this as long as it's relevant, right? So if they went and they were denied, and they didn't resubmit, even though I don't know if there's a resubmission process versus a new process, if they came back with a new application, does that then, well, no, but I mean, like, does that mean then that they, they don't have to wait a year because it's a new application, not a resubmission, but it's basically the same thing?
Like, how do you define a new app, something new
Right,
versus?
Right, do we have, I didn't know that we had a resubmission, which is fine, but I wonder how that works.
How do you distinguish a new, something new from a resubmission?
There's the rub, right? I mean, well, part of it is, right, I mean, it's sort of like the Supreme Court saying, we'll know it when we see it. But, well, first of all, if they